something else that I know that you find important is balance. And, you and I, when we were speaking, you talked about General Powell and how he talked about how you have to have a hobby outside the Army. Can you talk about that too?
Sure. I mean, so part of temperance in very very simple terms, is it's all about balance.
Right.
And so what you want to try avoiding is being a zealot, or an extremist in anything that you do. Right. You got to demonstrate balance. So in Colin Powell's autobiography, early on in the book, he's offering advice up to his readers and really future leaders. He says that first advice he would give to a young officer is, hey, or a leader is, make sure you have a hobby. You find some hobby outside of the Army. The Army can't be your hobby. You got to find some hobby outside that you devote just as much energy and passion to as you do the Army, because what that'll do is that'll give you a balance in life, and it also pull you out of the office. It'll pull you out of the workspace, because as a leader, and you're in the office, there's a good chance that many of your subordinates may be watching you, or they may be in the office at the same time, and so that sometimes you see that a lot, where people just stay at work for endless amounts of time for no good reason, just because they're bosses. So as a boss, everyone's watching you and having balance, and you're seeing, and your subordinates seeing you go out and do things. That shows to them that, hey, having a life outside of whatever job you're in is actually a good thing, and really it's a must thing. You've got to balance between your work, and your family life and your personal life, because if you don't, you're not necessarily leading that complete life, and something's going to suffer. Because in the end, we want to be successful in our career, we want to be successful in our personal and our family life. But if you spend too much time at work, you're gonna miss something at home. I had a boss a long time ago that told me, you've got to do work. There's no escape around it. But also when you work, and how you work is important too. And in the Army, we typically start our day pretty early. Usually every morning around 6:30 in the morning, we're up for our physical training, and we tend to work fairly late too. In many cases, you could have folks working till easily 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m., which is pretty late. And so in order to break that model, I had an old boss said, make sure you're home for dinner with your family every night. And that's about balance. Just make sure. So if you got work to do, come in earlier, or do it later on when they go to sleep. But your family doesn't know what time you go to work. Your family just knows that, hey, maybe you're not home, for dinner. And so I've, for a long time now, that's kind of the model that I've approached, and I just really try to make sure that I'm home for dinner every night, or as many nights as I can be. It's impossible, right, to be home every night.
Right.
Things come up, but as often as I can, that's what I try. And I have hobbies. I'm an avid shotgunner, and so I try to spend time in doing that as well on top of my army life.